Do you have any regrets?
No, don't have time to regret. We move on.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, born on December 31st, 1937, in Margam, Wales, stands as one of the most iconic actors in the history of cinema. Known for his unmatched versatility and commanding screen presence, Hopkins has carved out a career spanning decades, winning Academy Awards and leaving behind unforgettable performances. Yet behind the brilliance lies a deeply human story, one that encompasses battles with personal demons, triumph over addiction, living with conditions like Asperger's syndrome and dyslexia, and his eventual transformation into a beacon of strength and resilience. At 87 years old, Hopkins continues to inspire millions, not just with his acting, but also with his openness about the struggles he has faced and the wisdom he has gained. His life story is a testament to how adversity, when confronted with courage, can lead to growth and greatness. Early life and childhood challenges. Anthony Hopkins grew up in a working-class family, raised by his father, Richard Arthur Hopkins, a baker, and his mother, Muriel. As a child, he struggled academically and was diagnosed with dyslexia, which made traditional schooling a difficult experience. Feeling isolated and misunderstood, Hopkins often withdrew into his own world. Instead of thriving in academics, he found solace in creative outlets such as music, painting, and drama. He began to play the piano at an early age, and the instrument became both a refuge and a means of expression. Though his teachers underestimated him, Hopkins's imagination was vast, and his struggles in the classroom were the very foundation of the creativity that would later define his career. Discovering his passion for acting. Hopkins' introduction to acting was not immediate. Initially, he pursued art and music, dreaming of becoming a pianist. However, a chance meeting with legendary actor Richard Burton, who was also from Wales, inspired him to pursue a career in acting. Burton's success gave Hopkins the confidence to believe that someone from their small Welsh community could indeed achieve greatness on the stage and screen. Hopkins later trained at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, and then the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London. This training opened the door to his theatrical career, which would soon blossom into international stardom. Rising career in theater and film before conquering Hollywood, Hopkins made his mark on the stage. He performed in Shakespearean productions and was mentored by Laurence Olivier, one of the greatest actors of the 20th century, at the Royal National Theatre. Hopkins's sharp intensity and ability to embody complex characters quickly gained attention. His film career gained momentum in the late 1960s and 1970s, with roles in The Lion in Winter and Magic. These early works highlighted his ability to portray deeply layered characters, a skill that would later earn him global recognition. Breakthrough with The Silence of the Lambs. The defining moment in Hopkins' career came in 1991 with his chilling portrayal of Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. His performance was so powerful that despite appearing on screen for only about 16 minutes, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor. The role became a cultural phenomenon, cementing him as one of the greatest actors in cinematic history. Hopkins's ability to shift between subtle charm and terrifying menace made Lecter unforgettable, and his career flourished with subsequent roles in films such as The Remains of the Day, Legends of the Fall, and Nixon. The battle with alcoholism. Behind the glamour of Hollywood, Hopkins was silently battling a severe addiction to alcohol. During his younger years, his drinking spiraled out of control, affecting both his personal and professional life. Hopkins has openly admitted that alcohol made him reckless and destructive, pushing him to a point where he nearly lost everything. In December 1975, he made the life-changing decision to become sober, and he has maintained that sobriety for nearly 5 decades. Hopkins often credits Alcoholics Anonymous and a personal spiritual awakening as the cornerstones of his recovery. His journey through addiction taught him discipline, humility, and the value of second chances. Sobriety and personal transformation. Living sober since 1975 has been one of Hopkins' greatest achievements. He frequently shares his story to encourage others struggling with addiction, reminding them that recovery is possible at any stage of life. Hopkins views his sobriety not just as freedom from alcohol, but as a pathway to greater creativity and clarity in his work. He has often described how giving up drinking allowed him to regain control of his life, pursue his passions with renewed focus, and become a more compassionate and understanding individual. Sobriety for him was not just about survival, it was about transformation. Asperger's syndrome, a hidden gift. Later in life, Hopkins was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, a condition now recognized as part of the autism spectrum. Initially, the revelation was surprising, but Hopkins embraced it as a gift. He explained that Asperger's gave him a unique way of viewing the world and contributed to his ability to hyper-focus on roles and immerse himself in characters. Instead of viewing it as a limitation, he considered it an asset that helped shape his craft. Hopkins's openness about his diagnosis has inspired countless individuals on the autism spectrum to embrace their differences as strengths rather than obstacles. Struggles with dyslexia and academic challenges. Hopkins's dyslexia made childhood difficult, as he often felt misunderstood by teachers and peers. However, he turned what was once seen as a weakness into a driving force for creativity. His struggles in reading led him to rely on intense memorization techniques, which later became one of his greatest strengths as an actor. Hopkins has been known to memorize entire scripts with astonishing speed and accuracy. His dyslexia also pushed him toward other forms of expression, such as painting and music, allowing him to thrive artistically despite academic challenges. Music and art. A creative outlet beyond acting, Hopkins is also a gifted musician and painter. He has composed classical music, including waltzes and orchestral pieces, and has exhibited his paintings in galleries around the world. Music in particular has been a lifelong passion for him, often serving as a form of therapy and self-expression. These creative outlets provided him with balance, especially during difficult periods in his life. They represent not only his artistic versatility, but also his commitment to continually seeking beauty and meaning in the world around him. Health and aging with grace. At 87 years old, Anthony Hopkins continues to defy the limitations of age. Despite his earlier struggles with alcoholism and health challenges, he has maintained an active lifestyle, continuing to act, paint, and compose music. Hopkins often speaks about the importance of mental health, balance, and finding joy in simple things. His candidness about aging has made him relatable to fans of all generations, showing that one can continue to live a purposeful and fulfilling life, even in the later years. Financial issues and stability. Despite his enormous success later in life, Anthony Hopkins did not always enjoy financial security. In his early acting years, especially during the 1960s and 1970s, Hopkins struggled with unstable income, often taking roles in theater and television simply to make ends meet. His battle with alcoholism during that period also strained his finances, as it affected his work reliability and personal stability. Divorce settlements, particularly from his first two marriages, further impacted his wealth. However, once sobriety brought him focus, Hopkins rebuilt his career and managed his earnings wisely, eventually achieving financial stability. Today, he is not only one of the most respected actors in the world, but also financially secure, with investments in art, music, and real estate. Hopkins has often said that money was never his primary motivation. Instead, he values creative freedom and living a peaceful, balanced life over material excess. Health problems. Anthony Hopkins has faced several health challenges throughout his life. His most difficult battle was with alcoholism, which he overcame in 1975, remaining sober ever since. Later, he revealed his diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome, which, while sometimes making social interactions difficult, gave him a unique perspective that fueled his acting brilliance. Hopkins has also struggled with dyslexia since childhood, which made school challenging but never prevented him from mastering complex scripts. Despite these hurdles, he has maintained strong physical and mental health into his late 80s, crediting discipline, creativity, and sobriety as the keys to his resilience. Family issues. Family life for Anthony Hopkins has often been turbulent. He has been married 3 times, with his first 2 marriages ending in divorce. Perhaps the most painful chapter of his family story is his strained relationship with his daughter, Abigail Hopkins. For many years, father and daughter were estranged, with Hopkins admitting he had been distant and emotionally unavailable during her upbringing. This separation has been difficult and, at times, publicly scrutinized. Despite these challenges, Hopkins has found stability with his third wife, Stella Arroyev, who has brought companionship, warmth, and balance back into his personal and family life. Friends' struggles. Throughout his life, Hopkins has also experienced difficulties maintaining friendships. During his years of alcoholism, his unpredictable behavior often pushed friends and colleagues away, leaving him feeling isolated despite his success. Even after achieving sobriety, Hopkins remained known for being solitary, often preferring music, painting, or quiet reflection to social gatherings. However, over time, he began to cultivate deeper connections, appreciating quality over quantity in relationships. His wife Stella, along with a small circle of trusted friends, has provided a sense of belonging and support. Hopkins' journey highlights the importance of honesty, stability, and trust in sustaining meaningful friendships. Philosophy on life and gratitude. Hopkins often attributes his resilience to a sense of gratitude and acceptance. He embraces life as it comes, focusing less on the past and more on the present moment. His struggles with addiction, Asperger's, and dyslexia have given him a deep appreciation for the human experience in all its complexity. He often shares motivational messages on social media, encouraging others to let go of negativity, forgive themselves, and move forward. This philosophy has not only shaped his personal life, but also continues to resonate with audiences around the world. Legacy in Hollywood. Hopkins's impact on Hollywood extends far beyond his roles. He has set a standard for acting that few can match, blending discipline, authenticity, and emotional depth. His career, spanning over 6 decades, has influenced generations of actors and filmmakers. More importantly, his openness about his struggles has broken down stigmas around issues like addiction, autism, and dyslexia, making him not only a great actor, but also a powerful advocate for resilience and honesty. Alcoholism, the darkest battle. Anthony Hopkins' battle with alcoholism was one of the most defining struggles of his life, shaping not only his health, but also his outlook on existence. In his younger years, the pressures of fame, personal insecurities, and the relentless demands of the acting world pushed him toward heavy drinking. For Hopkins, alcohol initially became an escape, a numbing comfort in the midst of internal turmoil. But soon it turned into a consuming force that threatened his relationships, career, and even his will to live. He has openly admitted that he often found himself lost in destructive cycles, waking up with little memory of his actions, yet continuing the same dangerous path. The turning point came in 1975, when Hopkins reached a moment of clarity after years of self-destruction. He described feeling as though something greater intervened, lifting the fog of addiction and giving him the strength to commit to sobriety. From that day, he embraced a new life free from alcohol. His recovery journey has been a source of inspiration for millions, as he often shares that even in his darkest days, change was possible. Today, he celebrates decades of sobriety, a testament to resilience and self-discipline. His battle with alcoholism remains a reminder that health struggles are not always visible, but can be deeply transformative when conquered. Creativity as a form of therapy. For Anthony Hopkins, art is not just a profession, it is therapy. Acting, music, and painting have long been his lifelines, offering him ways to process emotions, channel restlessness, and find peace within himself. After becoming sober, creativity became an even more vital outlet, a positive force to replace the destructive habits of drinking. Acting allowed him to pour his emotions into characters, transforming pain into performance, while music and painting provided a quieter, more meditative form of healing. Hopkins often credits the piano as his first love and admits that music helps calm his mind, restore balance, and give him joy in solitude. Likewise, painting became a way of expressing what words could not capture, bursts of color, energy, and imagination flowing onto canvas. These creative pursuits not only kept him healthy emotionally, but also gave him a sense of purpose beyond Hollywood fame. In many ways, creativity saved him. While alcohol had once been his escape, artistic expression became his new sanctuary. His story highlights how mental and emotional health can be nurtured through art, showing that healing does not always come from medicine or therapy alone, but also from finding outlets that ignite passion and meaning. Hopkins' journey proves that creativity is not just about producing work. It is about sustaining the soul and building a healthier, more fulfilled life. Health lessons learned over the years. At 87, Anthony Hopkins reflects on his health struggles with gratitude, seeing them as lessons rather than curses. Sobriety taught him discipline, while his Asperger's diagnosis later in life gave him understanding of his own thought patterns and sensitivities. His dyslexia, once a source of frustration, became proof that challenges can be overcome with patience and persistence. Together, these experiences shaped him into someone who values resilience above perfection. Hopkins often shares that health is not just physical, it is emotional, mental, and spiritual. He believes that caring for the mind and spirit is just as important as caring for the body. Meditation, music, creativity, and connection to loved ones are as vital to him as regular checkups and fitness. This holistic view of health allowed him to thrive despite setbacks. Another important lesson Hopkins emphasizes is the importance of balance. Fame and success can easily become consuming, but he has learned to step back, enjoy simple pleasures, and not let external pressures dictate his well-being. His story reminds others that health is an ongoing journey, not a fixed state, and that setbacks can become opportunities for growth. Through discipline, gratitude, and self-awareness, Hopkins transformed his struggles into stepping stones toward a healthier and more fulfilling life. Dealing with loneliness and isolation. Despite global fame, Hopkins has often spoken about experiencing loneliness and isolation throughout his life. As a child, he felt out of place in school due to dyslexia, which made him retreat into himself. Later, even at the height of his career, the pressure of acting and the constant spotlight sometimes left him feeling detached from the world around him. These moments of isolation were dangerous during his years of drinking, as alcohol only deepened the void. However, sobriety gave him tools to face loneliness with resilience rather than fear. Hopkins learned to embrace solitude as an opportunity for creativity and reflection. Instead of avoiding quiet moments, he filled them with painting, composing music, and studying scripts. This shift transformed loneliness from a painful burden into a chance for personal growth. His marriage to Stella Aroyov in 2003 also brought him companionship, stability, and emotional support, further helping him combat isolation. Hopkins often emphasizes that loneliness is a universal human experience, one that can either break us or make us stronger. By turning inward and finding meaning in his passions, he discovered that isolation could be a gift rather than a curse. For many who admire him, his openness about these struggles is comforting, proving that even those who appear larger than life face the same human vulnerabilities. Today, Hopkins embraces his solitude with peace, knowing that true fulfillment comes not from constant company, but from self-acceptance and inner harmony. Inspiring future generations. Hopkins' story is not just about fame and awards. It is about overcoming obstacles and embracing individuality. For aspiring actors, his career serves as a masterclass in dedication and artistry. For those facing personal battles, his life demonstrates that hardship can be transformed into strength. And for audiences worldwide, his performances continue to provide moments of brilliance and inspiration. Anthony Hopkins' journey is a reminder that greatness is not defined by the absence of struggle, but by the courage to confront and rise above it. Conclusion. Anthony Hopkins' life is one of resilience, artistry, and transformation. From a dyslexic child in Wales who struggled in school to an Academy Award-winning actor and international icon, his journey is a testament to the human spirit's capacity for growth. His triumph over alcoholism, acceptance of Asperger's as a gift, and perseverance despite challenges have made him not just a great actor, but also a beacon of hope and inspiration. At 87, Hopkins continues to remind the world that no matter the challenges, it is possible to live with purpose, creativity, and gratitude. His legacy is not only etched in film history, but also in the hearts of those who see in him the power of resilience.